They didn't just ignore me, they laughed at me. My name is Lena, and here is how I became everything they said I couldn't be. All my life, people told me I wasn't pretty enough. Too plain, short-heighted, too different. But I was in love with modeling. In school, they laughed at me. In auditions, they dismissed me before I could even try. Even my own family thought I should be realistic. But the same girl they mocked now stands on billboards, in magazines, and on runways they never imagined I'd walk. This is how I went from not pretty enough to becoming a model. I grew up in a small town where beauty wasn't just admired, it decided everything. Girls with long blonde hair and perfect smiles were treated like queens before they even reached high school. The boys cheered for them, the teachers adored them, and I, awkward, curly-haired, with a gap in my teeth, was invisible unless someone wanted a laugh.
Don't worry, Lena. You'll never have to worry about paparazzi blinding you.
Everyone laughed. I laughed too, pretending it didn't hurt. But at night, I stood in front of my mirror, tugging at my frizzy curls, pressing my lips together to hide my teeth, wishing I could just be someone else. The bullying wasn't violent. It was casual, constant. Comments slipped into conversations like daggers wrapped in jokes.
Lena, you're nice, but modeling? Come on, you don't have the look.
That phrase stuck. You don't have the look. Still, deep down, I dreamed. I'd cut out pictures from magazines, tape them to my wall, and whisper, "One day, that will be me." But when your classmates laugh, your relatives call you ordinary, the dream feels like a crime. College was the first time I dared to try for real. One day, I saw a flyer that made my heart race. It read, "Model Call, local boutique seeking faces for catalog." I skipped class without thinking twice. This felt like my moment. But when I arrived, doubt hit me instantly. Dozens of girls lined the hallway, tall, confident, cheekbones sharp enough to cut glass. I wore my best dress, the one I'd ironed 3 times. When it was my turn, the casting director looked me up and down.
Thank you. Next.
That was it. 3 seconds, no questions, no chance. I walked out, my face burning, trying not to cry. And then I heard it. A group of girls giggled behind me. One of them whispered just loud enough.
She really thought she could do this.
Rejections piled up after that. Agencies told me my nose was too wide, my teeth too crooked, my height too short. One email read bluntly, "Not marketable." Each rejection carved at me, but somehow the dream never died. I worked part-time jobs, waitressing, folding clothes in retail, even scrubbing tables at a cafe. Every paycheck I saved for one thing: portfolio photos. My aim? To be Georgia May Jagger of Next Generation. It didn't come the way I expected. It came by accident. One random day, everything changed. A local photographer, Elias, walked into the cafe where I worked. He ordered coffee, but he kept looking at me. Not casually, differently. And when I handed it to him, he stared.
Has anyone ever told you your face belongs in front of a camera?
I laughed, louder than I should have.
Actually, I've been told the opposite. Repeatedly.
They're wrong. Come by my studio. Let me shoot some test photos. No charge.
I almost didn't go. What if it was another humiliation? But then a thought hit me. What if this is the moment everything changes? So I went. His studio wasn't impressive. His studio was small, with one cracked backdrop and lights held up by tape. But the way he looked at me was something I can't explain. He didn't tell me to pose. He said something no one had ever told me before. Not pose, not imitate. Just sit, stand, walk, laugh. When he showed me the photos, I didn't recognize the girl in them. She was raw, different, striking. Not conventional, but magnetic.
See? It's not about pretty. It's about presence.
For the first time, I believed maybe I wasn't broken. Maybe I was different. James helped me build a portfolio. He introduced me to small designers, independent, hungry for fresh faces. My first gig was modeling handmade jewelry for an Instagram boutique. Pay, $50 and 2 necklaces. I wore those necklaces every day like medals. Then came another break, a small runway show for student designers. I was terrified. Backstage, the other models towered over me. They whispered,
She's so short. Why is she even here?
For a second, I almost believed them again. But then I remembered something. I wasn't here to fit in. I was here to be seen. But when I stepped onto that runway, the lights hit me, the cameras clicked, and the room paused. Not because I was the tallest or prettiest, because I was something else. Real. People clapped. I walked off shaking, but James hugged me.
Told you. Presents.
It wasn't overnight. It was years. Small shows turned into bigger ones. Catalog shoots into campaigns. I learned to pose, to command the camera, to turn my gap-toothed smile, the same one they mocked, into my signature. One night, an email came from Nova Agency, a mid-sized but respected modeling firm. They wanted me. They'd seen photos from a runway show circulating online. When I walked into their office, the director studied me.
You're not what the industry used to want, but you're exactly what it needs now. Unique, memorable, unapologetic.
That was the first time someone powerful said unapologetic, like it was praise. Within a year, I was booked for my first international campaign, Paris. A dream I'd once taped to my bedroom wall. I stood on set, cameras flashing, makeup artists swarming, the Eiffel Tower peeking through the window. And I thought of every cafeteria laugh, every casting rejection, every not marketable. Now I was the face on the billboard. Months later, I returned to my hometown for a visit. The same classmates who mocked me, they approached me at the grocery store, wide-eyed.
Lena? We saw your campaign. Wow, you look incredible.
The same girls who told me I wasn't the look now scrolled through my Instagram, leaving likes and comments. Even my family, once skeptical, stared at the glossy magazines I brought home.
I was wrong. You've made us proud.
But I didn't need their validation anymore. They said I wasn't pretty enough. They tried to box me in, define me by their shallow standards. But I realized something they never did. Beauty isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out. I wasn't pretty enough for their small world, because I was meant for something bigger. Now, when I walk ramps, I smile wide, gap and all. But my story didn't end there, because I kept thinking about the girl I used to be, the one standing in front of the mirror, trying to fix herself. And I knew there were thousands of girls just like her. Girls told they're not enough. Girls told they don't have the look. So I decided to change that. I started my own modeling agency, not for perfect faces, but for real ones. Different faces, unique stories, unapologetic people, the kind the industry once rejected, just like me. Because no one should grow up believing they're not enough. And now, I don't just walk runways, I create them. They said I wasn't pretty enough, but I became something they could never define.